What's going on, guys? Welcome to another On Point Sports podcast. Today, I'm joined by Adam
Yes, sir.
and Camilo.
Finally, I'm back.
Yes, sir. First one of the 2020. As you know, we're here to discuss hot topics, in the NFL and the NBA for now. We're gonna start off with the NFL. Last week, we had the divisional round for. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. Um, One of the games was surprising. Two of the games were surprising for me. Um, let's start off with the Viking 49ers game. What do you guys think about that one?
Adam, you begin.
So this was a pretty good game. Um,
Sorry.
so from the Niners' perspective, they played really good defense. I feel, and for it being Jimmy G's first ever playoff game, he kind of was limited on what he was messing up. And then on the other side for the Vikings, they played well in the very, very beginning. That might have been from bad Niner defense though at the time. But they just weren't able to really get anything like to happen. Really, it was interesting because it was the first time that the Niners really had all their defense back, and it really showed kind of the difference, in my opinion.
I agree. That the Niners defense looked way better than it had in the previous week since Ford was out. Ford opens up the team and doesn't allow like the three other of them to get double teamed because that was happening.
Yeah.
And then Quan, even though he didn't do anything, you could tell he boosted the energy and he was always moving around making plays even though he didn't show up on the stat sheet.
Mm-hmm. And then
So is
Ziggy,
that
do you
all
have
the thought?
anything?
That's all the thoughts on that game.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Or did you guys expect this outcome? Camilo before the podcast said he was pretty nervous about the game, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's always if you don't have a team that's been there before, like maybe the Seahawks for you, they've been in that situation recently with a lot of the same team. But like the Niners haven't been in that situation for a while, so it's kind of nerve-wracking that go into, especially like I said, Jimmy G's first playoff game, because you never know what's really going to happen. But I didn't think it would be that uh, like that big of a margin of victory at the very end. But it could have been 27-0 if they didn't do a few other mistakes on the Niners' part, but
Yeah.
it was pretty good win for them.
Ever since they sat Witherspoon, and then the Vikings stopped being able to make plays.
Yeah, and then besides that, they had the pick near the end of the first half, which led to the other 3 points. And then besides that, so if he didn't throw that pick and Mosley was in there the whole time, then it might have been 27-0, but either way, we don't know.
and we predicted the 49ers would win last week, but this next game we didn't see it coming. The Titans versus the Ravens. The Titans won the game 2012. What do you guys think about that one?
So for this one, I was sort of, in a way, correct about something with Lamar not performing as much as he did in the regular season. And also something about him, which I feel like also being a young player kind of does to him, is that he didn't run as much as he usually did, which is really what was helping them win throughout the entire year. And
Because
go ahead.
they had to come back like they had never played from being down
they weren't.
14.
Yeah. And that could have also been from them starting out kind of playing differently. And that kind of happened to Josh Allen, too. He kind of, once he got in a situation where he wasn't too comfortable, he started playing just in a weird way. And I think over the years, they'll both improve a lot. But I don't know. I don't know if Lamar's going to, obviously in the future, we hope he'll probably perform in the playoffs. But recently, we don't have any really big evidence to show us that he'll actually be able to perform.
Derrick Henry certainly had a game for himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
202 yards.
Got him
No
on
one's
Twitter.
been able to really stop him so far in the playoffs.
He's a monster.
You guys remember a while back, that little short guy said something about Lamar being the
Yeah.
MVP
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mark Ingram.
and Martin, the Titan.
Yeah,
Yep.
I saw that. That's funny.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
I,
No
I
one
was
says, oh, I'm sorry.
I was talking to my like friends about the game, and I was
Mhm.
like, before the game started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm calling it the the Titans are gonna win, but I didn't really believe myself when I said that. I was just hopeful, but it actually happened.
You should have bet on it.
Yep. I mean, but if you think about it, the Titans have beaten the Patriots with Tom Brady. They've beaten the Ravens with Lamar, who's most likely MVP. And then next week they're going up against someone else,
Hmm.
which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I feel like they have a legitimate chance, and they have all playoffs so far,
Yeah,
as you've seen.
they just have to
Uh,
beat the Chiefs.
Staying in the AFC, last week we had the Texans and the Chiefs. The game didn't really, I think, the second quarter and a little after
Is
that.
it just me or is he lagging?
He's
Am
kind
I
of
lagging?
cutting out. But
Ah,
I
damn
can
it.
I can try to. So it was 24-0 when it started,
Yeah.
with the Texans up, and then somehow being up 24, they ended up losing by 20 points, 31-51 with the Chiefs winning. So that was. What did y'all think about that?
I thought it was crazy, like, because I was watching the score and the Texans just kept scoring.
Hmm.
Like, what the hell? How are they doing this to the Chiefs? Because I wasn't watching it,
Yeah.
and then I started watching it, and the Chiefs just
Maybe it was
marched
because
back.
of you they came back. Someone apparently
I'm gonna
left
be
when it
real.
was 24-0, and then as soon as he left, then they came back from like in the arena. Stadium.
Really?
Yeah. And then Mahomes told him to stay at home for the next game.
Hmm.
But
I was
yeah, go ahead.
I was chilling, playing Minecraft with the boys,
Yes, sir.
and I saw the score was 24-0. I was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is out of the playoff. I turned on the TV for a bit just to see what's going on, and they were up in the third
Anything can
quarter. I was
happen.
like, damn,
Yeah.
what the hell?
The 24-0 though did start, so they scored on the first drive to go up 7-0, and then after that, I think they blocked the Chiefs' punt and then brought it back for 14-0. And I think the next one was a muffed punt for 21-0, something like that.
Mm.
So it was a lot of just special teams errors on the part of the Chiefs to start.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And then it was kind of interesting on the way that the Chiefs came back, because it was kind of similar. The Texans had messed up. They had fumbled here and there. They went for it on like 4th and 5, I think, at their
Oh
own
yeah.
like 30-yard line, which I don't know why they did that, but then that gave them another score. And then in my opinion, it was just the Texans not playing well, because they were up 24-0, and then they just started to sort of throw the
Choked.
game away. Yeah.
Choked. They choked.
And then
Choked.
they only scored 7 points after that to the Chiefs 51.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's a high scoring game
Yeah.
for the Chiefs at least.
I didn't expect, at that point, I didn't really expect 51-31. I thought the Chiefs obviously had a chance. When it was 24-0, they still had a chance. We've seen leads be blown, like the Bills blew a lead to the Texans. Texans blew a lead to the Chiefs. So now the Chiefs are going to blow a lead to the Titans. So it's going to be interesting.
We'll see what happens this weekend. Tomorrow? I'm not sure.
Sunday at about noon Pacific time, I believe.
Nice. Um, we move on back to the NFC. We had the Seahawks face up against the Packers in Wisconsin. The Seahawks unfortunately lost this one, 23-28. It seemed like a close game in the end, but
Yeah.
they couldn't pull through. Did you guys see this coming?
Yeah.
I saw
Just
it
because of their
coming, but
injuries.
like the whole time in my mind, I was preparing myself to just assume the Seahawks would win.
Yeah, because it looked like
But
they're coming
yeah,
back in the second half. They're a super good second half
that's the thing about
team.
them. They're
First
always
half
down,
was
but they come back.
trash.
Yeah, there were like on both sides. There were missed calls everywhere. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Like the fumble in the first quarter, and then in the final seconds that third down to Jimmy. Was it Jimmy Graham?
I don't know.
Who came
I don't
down? In my
remember.
opinion, came down short.
Yeah, that was not. That was not a.
So I mean, it's whatever though.
Next season, as a Cowboy fan say, next season.
Yep.
We're gonna switch gears here. We're gonna move on to the NBA, as you
No
know.
predictions for the
You want to
next
predict the
week.
next week?
Oh, I'm sorry. We just started, New Year, whatever. We're gonna predict Titans Chiefs.
Titans Chiefs. All right,
Mm,
I'll go last on this one, just so I don't
Tidy.
influence them.
I'm gonna
I've
go
been
first.
going.
Y'all sound a little confused. I'm gonna go Chiefs. I don't
You
think
go
I
Chiefs.
think Titans are somehow in luck,
Really?
but that luck's gonna end this week. Yep.
Okay.
Well, if they keep running it, that's going to win them time of possession, and they give
Yep.
the ball to Patrick Mahomes not as many times, which won't give them the opportunity to score. So I've been going for the Titans all of playoffs. So why not?
I'm gonna also go
Titans.
for the Titans because
Oh damn.
they are going to run it with Derrick Henry, and the the Chiefs rushing defense in all of the different stats are bottom 5. So I don't know if they'll be able to stop Derrick Henry just because they don't have really the pieces there. At least the numbers have shown so far this season.
Even if
But
they had the pieces, they couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
yeah, but then even because going into that game, he's going to run it. They're not going to really have Tannehill throw it a lot. And you would be prepared for Derrick Henry, but I don't know if even when they're prepared, they'll be able to stop him. But that'll show us who wins that game, definitely.
Derrick Henry, top 5, maybe top 3 running back in the league. Do you guys agree?
Probably at this part.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so. But yeah, so I have the Titans. And you guys Titans and then Chiefs.
I agree, Titans.
Let's switch gears to
What about the
the
Niners?
NFC.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
That's
I
what
thought
they
you,
say.
my bad. I thought you said switch gears like you were gonna go to.
We got Packers, Niners. What you guys got, man?
Packers. No, I'm lying. Niners.
I'm gonna say Niners.
I don't think so. The last time these two played, it was 37-8 on, was it Sunday night, Monday night? It was one of them. And that was a great game, and I hope this is the exact same thing, but I don't think it will be. I think the Packers will play a lot better, though I think it will still be the Niners winning by maybe like 10 points. Just because the last time they played, there was no Joe Staley, there was no D Ford, and there was no Quan, which add those people in, and even the defense was still playing really well in that one. And then you add D Ford, which I feel like you saw a difference this last week than you did the weeks before. So I think they'll still have a big time defensive game, but the Packers and Aaron Rodgers will definitely do something different and get some more points on the board, in my opinion.
I'll just say Packers because maybe we want to jinx it the other way, but that's all I gotta say.
Aaron Rodgers, 12 touchdowns, 1,000,000 yards.
Eric, oh wait, why isn't Eric on here, bro?
Rest in peace.
We need his Skip Bayless
Skip Bayless.
like takes.
Shannon Sharp, no?
Aaron Rodgers is
Cheap
Stupid.
Russell
a
Wilson.
cheap Russell Wilson.
Stupid. No. I'm gonna say Niners just because
You don't agree with
the last game the Packers kind of seemed off in the second half against the Seahawks.
Yeah, that is absolutely true as well.
Yeah.
If they can stop
yeah.
them in that first half, definitely. Because they
I'm gonna go
went
with the
cold.
Niners.
Well, alrighty. So
Now we're gonna switch gears to the NBA.
here
Switching
we go.
gears all day, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Hey, what
sir.
about the Pro Bowl?
That's boring. That's
It
boring.
Is
is,
it?
dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like the NBA.
No.
We'll have a whole episode dedicated to it.
So nothing really has changed in the NBA. Lakers still on top. Bucks still on top. Warriors still doing trash.
Yes, sir.
Good. We're doing it on purpose.
Yep. Don't sleep on them next year. You know what's gonna happen next year.
Sleep.
We
That's
getting Giannis
facts.
and Karl Anthony Towns.
And Embiid.
And
Anyways,
LeBron.
so like last week, we talked about trade rumors. Trade rumors are still going on. Carrying on to this week, we're gonna start off with Andrew Wiggins and D'Angelo Russell. You guys think this will happen?
I don't think it'll happen, nor do I want it to happen. I think that you should not go for someone like Wiggins or even trade D'Lo right now, but instead put the pick that we have this year, and D'Lo together for maybe one of those stars that you were saying. So, and something that I could really see happening is D'Lo and the pick for Cat, just because they can have, if Cat is not happy where he is right now, you can add their point guard that they want, as well as replace Cat with someone like Wiseman for the pick.
I don't think Kat would agree with the trade.
Yeah,
Is that
didn't
fair?
him
It
and
doesn't matter.
D'Lo want to
Does
play
it?
Yeah,
together?
yeah.
Like,
I think that's
can
the
he
whole point
say
of him going to
anything
Golden
about
State.
it?
No, but
If
that's
they
kind
trade
of
him,
the
he's
whole point
forced
of
to.
him going to Golden State, isn't it? To
I
play
mean, I
with
guess, but
like his
that's
best
true.
friend.
Yeah. And then besides that, I don't know. Obviously, we want to say the Giannis thing, but I don't know. I
Honestly,
just
just give
think
him Steph
D'Lo
Curry.
shouldn't. I just think D'Lo shouldn't be traded in the season.
Did you
Should
say
be.
trade Steph Curry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for Karl Anthony Towns.
Makes
That's
sense.
a great deal. Curry and Clay.
Yeah, and
No.
throw in Draymond while you're at it. You don't need him.
New look Warriors.
The Memphis Grizzlies are climbing their way up the ladder. A couple weeks back, they were at the 14th spot, which was crazy. Now they're at the 8th spot. It's pretty close between all those. You
It
know.
is.
Do you think Andre Iguodala will start playing?
No.
I don't think he
He's
will, just
resting.
because I don't think they'll allow him to after he didn't play all season. Though I think they would definitely, I don't know, because maybe they'll want him to just because they'll have a better chance of winning. But I just think he's never going to. I don't even know if he's going to last long enough to make the playoffs. They might try and trade him soon or buy him out once there's a buyout period.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't think he'll be on the roster still.
Did you see that he was like having dinner with Steve Kerr and stuff?
Yes, sir.
He's gonna come back next season. Watch.
They're talking about the
He
game plan.
is. I'm pretty sure, like they're in close ties.
Yeah.
The Warriors signed Marquise Chris back to a two-way deal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You guys think that was a smart move?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Just because, first off, they had the spot, so why not offer the spot to someone? And then also they can just have him and try and experiment different things with him and see if he'd be ready for next year.
Mm-hmm. He has so much potential.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched much of the Warriors because my phone won't let me. It like trips out.
Is it your
That's
phone
tough.
or is it just boring? Because last night was kind of boring, not going to
A
lie.
little bit of both.
Did you
A
say
little bit
last
of
night
both.
was boring?
Yeah, even though it was a
Did you
close game,
watch
it was
it?
pretty
They
boring.
lost by 3 points in overtime.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
Is it?
We do it
Yeah.
on purpose, dude. There's no
Yes,
way
sir.
that we lose all these games by so
Dude,
close.
Eric Pascal can score 40 a game, but he chooses not to because,
Yes, sir.
Steve Kerr tells him not to.
He's got
He
to
had a
rest his
hip
body.
injury, didn't he?
I believe so. He's barely coming back from that right now, too, so we'll see what happens.
Has Jordan Poole played good? I haven't really watched.
Recently, yeah. He's playing. He
Yeah.
has more confidence, it looks like.
After coming back from the G League, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA is kind of boring right now. You guys see
A little
anything
bit.
interesting to talk about?
I mean, the ratings are down, but
It's because the Warriors aren't good. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyrie recently actually said that once him and Durant both get back, because he played recently, they lost to the Sixers, I believe, and he said that they need a few more pieces. Do you guys think that is true, or do you think
No,
you think they'd be a championship team just how they have
should
it
be
right now?
fine.
Because they don't have their first round pick this year. If the Warriors remain at the bottom, which is most likely going to happen.
I
But-
think
Go
I
ahead.
mean, so they're at the eighth spot right now, and I know Sean
Yeah.
Dinwiddie's been carrying the team,
You say Sean?
and oh Spencer, my bad. I called him Sean a while back too. Spencer Dinwiddie's been carrying the team.
Yeah.
I think if you add Kyrie and KD, they'll move up to like maybe the fourth or fifth spot, and then they'll fight their way through the playoffs.
You think just the fourth or fifth?
Yeah, I don't think first or
I
second
don't
or
think
third.
first because the Bucks are having crazy seasons the last 2 years, but I think maybe like a top 3 seed because they have
I,
Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Those are two people that have been very hard to stop in recent years.
that's the problem I see. I see two players in both of them who can have like they can do everything on the court offensively and
Yeah.
Kevin Durant defensively, but I don't think they're gonna mesh together. Like I said it about James Harden and Russell Westbrook, that not working, but that turned out to work.
Well, it's
I
actually
don't know.
not really working that much. It's just that the league is kind of weak right now. I think because
Yeah, I guess
they're
so.
losing to a lot of the teams they should be beating.
Kyrie's a
Uh,
cancer.
I don't think Kyrie and Kevin Durant will work.
We also don't know how Katie's gonna return. What kind of
If
form
he'll
he's
be the
in now
same.
after his Achilles.
They're both ISO players.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's
maybe
like
he can't do anything anymore. Move around as easy after his Achilles tear.
they're just gonna use him as a spot up shooter or what? That's gonna be boring.
Probably. Well, if you can't move around, that's kind of what you have to do. And then that
Just
would kind of suck
retire
for the
then.
Nets because
Yeah.
of his big contract.
Or come to the Warriors. We
Come
need
back.
you.
We miss you, Katie. We miss you.
We do.
So
I still have a hoodie.
I don't think that the Nets will win anything.
I think they're a favorite next year, to be
If
honest.
Giannis stays,
Well,
I
Giannis
don't
isn't
think
staying.
if
That's the
Giannis
thing.
stays in the East. But if he comes to the Warriors, they can go to the finals. They'll lose to us.
That'd be
Do you
nice.
guys think that the current standings, like the 1 through 8 for the playoffs, do you think those will stay the same for the most part, or who do you think will be in there
On both
instead?
sides? On both sides, or
Yeah. Like, do you think the Grizzlies will stay in there, or one of those other teams will slide in?
I think maybe like the last 2 seeds might change a little bit.
I think Oklahoma City's gonna stay just because they've been playing well. There's also a gap between them and the 8th seed, but I
Yeah.
actually see it's kind of hard to pick between them because you have the Pelicans, which is Ion, is actually coming back in 5 days,
The 28th, right?
22nd, and
My
then
bad. I didn't mean to say that.
yeah, and then that means they have like 2 games, and then he comes back, which I think they can start winning, and then they have how many wins? They have 16. The 8th seed has 19, so they're only about 3 games back, which with like half the season to go isn't very much. So they could make it. The Suns could also sneak in there somehow. The Spurs always somehow manage to make the playoffs, and then the Trailblazers also have a pretty good team, but it's kind of been disappointing so far. But then also the Grizzlies are playing well, so you never really
Yeah.
know at least for the Western Conference. And then for the East, what do you guys think? The Nets are right there.
I don't see anyone in the East sneaking in, but back to the West, I think the
Yeah.
Trailblazers can somehow pull through. I don't think the
Yeah.
Grizzlies will stay in the eighth
No, I
spot
don't
for
think
much
so.
longer.
I mean, if they lose
Um,
like 5 straight games and the other teams win, they have like the third best pick. So I don't know why they would really win so much, but
yeah.
maybe they
I
want
mean, if you're
Ja
the
Morant to have some more
You guys
spirit.
still have the same people winning the finals?
Uh,
We're going to the
obviously not.
no. I think most of us had the Warriors winning, so
finals?
I,
Yeah.
I said the Warriors.
I feel like the Bucks are like we saw how they were last year, but then they added even more depth, and they're 37-6. So I kind of feel like they can win it. But besides them in the East, I'm gonna stick to my opinion that the Pacers are gonna be a conference finals opponent to someone. I just have a feeling. With Oladipo returning in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, so he'll be back.
What
But
about
yeah.
in the West?
In the West, I'm thinking Lakers Clippers. I feel like that's a safe one, but then you also have if the Clippers lose a game and if the Jazz win a game and that's the playoffs, then they would match up in the semifinals. But I feel like it's just gonna happen. But I feel like Denver's kind of a not necessarily a wild card, but more of like a sleeper pick,
Yeah.
just because they're also up there. So are the Jazz too, who are not playing well at all from the last time I checked. But I don't know. I could see a lot of those playoff teams upsetting teams like the Clippers or the Lakers, just because the Lakers lost to some of these top teams, and then the Clippers lost to I think the Knicks or the Grizzlies, who are also a top or not a top seed but a playoff team. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the safe choice, but I just don't see an LA team winning the championship this year.
I have a question about NFL. Do you guys think the NFL should change their playoff, like how they do it, to how the NBA does it, the top teams instead of like conference-wise?
Um, sort of. Instead of like the divisions, I
Yeah.
think so, because the Cowboys and Eagles shouldn't have been teams that were in there in comparison to who was another top team. I think the Rams were up there, sort of.
Yeah.
And I feel like they would have put up more of a fight than the Eagles did, especially when you have
I
an
even think
injured Eagles quarterback.
even the Cowboys should have
You think the
would have
Cowboys
put
would
up
have
a
put up
better
more?
fight.
I mean, anyone who loses their quarterback probably won't put up a too great of a fight.
But they were just so injured and they still managed to win,
Yeah.
to get in.
So the
But it still would have
AFC
been.
was actually the top 6 teams, just actually in the whole conference. And then in the NFC, obviously, we had actually the Eagles at 9-7. The Rams were also 9-7. But either way, if they lost their quarterback, I don't think they would have put up much of a fight.
hmm
Yeah. But I
I'm a
think with
time
the
traveler from 2021. You guys want to know what actually happened in both leagues?
Seahawks get
Cowboys
blown
win.
out in the first round.
Um, 49ers win,
Yes, sir.
You jinxed me now.
and the
He's
NBA
trying
Finals
to.
is gonna be Heat, Jazz.
Heat Jazz.
Josh.
Yeah,
You know, I could see
7-game series. Jimmy Butler with a clutch 3 to win it all. Championship
What are
back
the
in
Heat
my
right now?
that.
What
Doesn't
number?
happen. The
Third.
second seed?
Third?
Is it second or third? They keep going back
Second,
and forth with
second.
the Celtics. They're about right there.
Do
No,
they
you
have
know what? I take that
Dragic
back.
anymore?
I take that back.
Do they have who?
Dragic, Gordon,
Yeah, they have Dragic on their
Gordon?
bench.
Gordon?
Gordon,
Yeah.
as in
Aaron.
no, he's on the Magic. He's been
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
Magic.
Wait, I have to go very far.
Yeah, the Bucks are gonna win it all.
I think so. It's kind of hard to just like straight up just say they will after what happened last year, where they kind of just fell apart. But Giannis is
That was 'cause
playing
of
even
Kawhi.
better somehow. I know, and then Kawhi could make the finals, and then they're back to it. Maybe that's the new rivalry of the 2020s.
Yeah,
No,
Kawhi
it's
and
still
Giannis.
Steph and LeBron. It's still Steph and LeBron.
Is it?
Yes.
One of them has groin issues. The other one has a broken hand.
Wrist.
honestly, Curry could have
No, it
come
was a
back
hand.
already, but they're dedicated to losing.
Well,
Yeah, facts.
they want him coming back in March, which I don't like at all.
No, I
he
think they're
should
just
come
gonna do
back,
that to
though.
test D'Lo and him
I mean, but we
Clay.
already saw some of that in the beginning.
and Clay
Yeah,
and Clay.
that's true.
Well, everyone healthy. That's what I'm trying to say. Because in the beginning of the season, when Curry was playing,
Well, they said Clay's out, I'm pretty sure,
really,
for the year.
I
I
gotta
feel
drop
like
him in fantasy.
they're
Then.
assuming it. Yeah, why'd you get him?
I'm
I
sorry.
thought they're gonna reevaluate him.
They're supposed to, but I highly doubt they're going to say that they both can come back after a year like this. Well, why would they bring them back to win one game and fall out of the best chance for the top seed?
Yeah.
Or for the top draft pick? Doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, the next time that Curry plays is rumored to be when it's on his birthday, for March 14th. Because that's in
Nice.
March. But then that's also the same day that they play the Bucks again.
You know what? Giannis is going to the Warriors. I'm calling it.
I've been saying this for
He said
years.
he wouldn't leave if he won a championship, so I don't really want him to win a championship.
That was what the media said.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't say that?
It's all fake.
They said that
Everything's
they
fake.
were going to play PUBG, but then allegedly the Bucks owner's daughter said that Giannis doesn't play video games. So
How does she know that? What's she doing with Giannis? Giannis
I
got a
don't know.
wife and a
Giannis got
kid.
a kid coming. He's gonna name his kid Cannon,
Why?
so there could be two Cannons.
Why can't it just be Gianni?
Gianni, is that what you
Gianni
think
and-
its name is gonna be?
Gianni and Cannon. Best duo of 30-25. 30-25.
In 1,000
No.
years?
Never mind. All right. I think we all can agree that the podcast has become dry at this point.
Yes, sir.
We're going to end it there.
Comments back in the comment section.
Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you are actually watching this. Follow us on our social media on Twitter and Instagram at On Point Sports. We hope to see you next time. We don't see you, but we can see you.
You hear us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.